Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're gonna go ahead and install some wheel spacers on the QX50. I actually did this before. I did it on the rear, but they were too large. I think I had put on there 1.5 inch spacers, which is a little bit too big. And I finally picked up some 25 millimeter, which should be 1 inch spacers to put all around on each wheel, which should look pretty sick. The issue with the 1.5 was it was a little bit too big, where it pushed the wheel out just enough to hit the fenders, and it kept making noise every time it would go over bumps. I got tired of it, took it off, and decided to order some 25 millimeters to make it look a little bit nicer. But let me go ahead and unbox them and show you what they look like. All right, so here are the boxes. I'm only gonna show you guys one, of course, because both of them should be the same. But I got these from Amazon. They are hub centric. And the wheel spacers from like a 370Z and also a 350Z are exactly the same, G37. They all have the same bolt pattern, which is 5 times 114.3 with a 66.1 inch bore in the middle. That way it's hub centric, and the hub sits on the actual center of the wheel right here and not sitting on the studs and putting the weight on there. So that's one thing that I highly recommend to get, is hub centric, and of course your bolt pattern. So these look pretty nice. As you can see, they're 25 mil. I'll see if I can find the 1.5 inch spacers so you guys can see the difference, but it's probably like about this much of a difference right there. So as you can see, it'll give it a little bit more clearance, so if it's on the QX50 with no rubbing at all. So we got a total of 4 of them for each side. Let's go ahead and throw these on and then see how they look. Right now, you can see the wheel sticking quite a bit, and the goal is just to make it look a little bit more aggressive, cleaner. Whenever you add wheel spacers, usually it's because you want to clean up the wheel gap, which it has right there, you can see, and it makes it look a whole lot nicer in my opinion when you don't have like a lot of space between the wheel and the fender liner and the fender itself. It just looks a whole lot better. So let's see how it looks when we put these 25 mils on. The 1.5 stuck out quite a bit, just a little bit over the fender itself. So I think 25 should be perfect and it should look really clean. But I love this color on this car. You gotta admit, that Hermosa blue looks so sick. It has that pearl in it. Just looks so nice and clean. Like, you can't go wrong with this color. But let's go ahead and start taking these wheels off. Alright, so here's one side done right there. You can see that it's pretty much flush with the fender now. And then this side sinks in way too much. Now with the previous spacer, I was actually sticking out just a little bit and then it would hit the fender. And now I don't think we should have any problems. But we're gonna go ahead and do the front one on the other side so we can see how it looks with the before and then the after. And then we'll install the other ones once we're done with the right side over here. Alright, there you go. This side is now installed. Look at that right there. And then look at this side. See how bad that looks? This side looks a whole lot better over here. Looks a lot more aggressive. Alright, so here's this angle right here. You can see it's all the way in. And then this side right here now is flush. Look at that. And then this side all the way in. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead, finish up the other side. But it looks a whole lot better already, just like that. Alright, so here's why you get hub centric. Now if you look at this right here, see how it's already touching the surface right there on the inside. The bore, which is this right here, the hub, is gonna sit right on there, on that lip. That way it doesn't move like up and down. It'll move to the sides a little bit, but once you put the nuts in, it won't move at all. And in the middle will stay put. Now if you don't get hub centric, there's a good possibility that the whole spacer may shift, which could damage the studs, and that's how sometimes the wheel may come off if not secured properly. So highly recommend hub centric. Don't cheap out and don't get just regular ones. Hub centric is really, really important. So just thought I'd explain that to you guys. Now it sits really good. Alright guys, so here is the QX50 now with all the spacers installed. As you can see, the fitment is pretty flush. The front sticks out a little bit more, but the reason it does is because the front tires are actually wider than the rear. I had the front ones on the back, but when I took it to the dealership, they did a tire rotation, and I completely forgot until right now that I had to go ahead and swap it out. But I'm assuming they did that because the front tires are newer than the rear ones right now. One of the rear ones needs to be replaced, so I do plan on doing a video on that, on which tires I go with. I'm not sure if I'm going to go a little bit wider or just change out all of the tires to the same size that it was before. But the front ones, which is a 265/45, does have a little bit more of like an aggressive look versus the rear ones. Like these right here, you can see that it doesn't stick out as much. And the front ones, because it's like one tire size bigger, it sticks out a little bit more. There's a few more things that I want to do to this car to make it look a little bit nicer. Right now I've been holding off because I've been working on the M45 and fixing a few things on 370Z. But I think I'm finally going to go ahead and buy a few more things for this car. I actually did order the mirror covers for the QX50. They should be the same for like a Q50. And so far from what I'm seeing on like the reviews of it, it says that it does fit on this car. So that's going to be an upgrade that we'll be doing to make it look a little bit more aggressive. And it should look pretty sick with those M-style mirror covers installed. Another thing that I wanted to do was buy a lip for this car. And the only reason I, again, was holding off on it was because that thing is way too expensive. If you look at a lip for like a Q50, they're 50 bucks. And if you look at one for this car, they're like $300, which is insane. I'm pretty sure it's because of the, supply and demand. A lot of people don't have QX50s and nobody's gonna really modify this car. I put some stuff on it. So I'm assuming that's why everything is so expensive. For a Q50, there's so many out there and everybody's buying that same lip for that car. So the supply and demand is there, as with this car, it's not. So there's only like maybe 4 vendors that buy it, I'm assuming from China. They ship it out over here and they sell them in like bulks and stuff. I think I saw it on Alibaba. Not sure if you guys have heard of that, but on there, I think it was like 50 bucks for like one of them. But they only sell like in a full like pack or a bundle or whatever. Like you have to buy 40 of them or something, and then if you do that, you have to sell all of them, which is crazy. But I don't want to buy $500 worth of lips and try to sell all of them where there's not a lot of people that are gonna buy lips for this car. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the thing with this car, you know, parts are way too expensive. Those mirror covers were only like 20 bucks, but I'll talk about it in the next video once they come in. And then these spacers, I got them on Amazon for, I think it was like 70 bucks, which is really good for all 4 of them. You're looking to spend over like 120, you know, for some other brands, especially like H&R, super expensive spacers, but you know, they're well quality made spacers. These look really good as well, but I highly recommend hub centric. Don't not get hub centric. It helps out a lot, keeps the wheel centered so it doesn't move around, and you won't have that much wobble, because I've heard of some people that install spacers have wobble because they don't have hub centric, because that wheel is moving a little bit up and down. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, another mod I wanted to do was the spoiler for this car, but again, $300. Diffuser, I think it's like $1,000. There's a lip for this, but I don't even know if it's a lip. I think it's just like a black cover for that piece right there, so I could just wrap that. I don't think there's a point in buying that. If it does actually stick out, then that would be different, but if it doesn't, I would just leave it as is and just wrap it black. But that would be another thing that I would like to do, is just like doing the whole trim, you know, black. But I haven't got around to doing it. I think I saw something online where you can buy the kit already that's made for this car, so you can just throw it on there. So I might just do that. That'll be a lot easier than trying to wrap everything and cut it out with like a X-Acto knife or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys like this video, helps you guys out and doing something to your QX50. I know somebody asked about this car last time, but I haven't done anything to it because, you know, there's just things that came up with the M45, 370Z. 370Z is going to be done within the next few days. The fenders are getting painted, and then they should be smoothened out, so I can go ahead and post that video for you guys so you can check out how it came out. I already posted a few videos on my Instagram and it came out really sick, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But I will post a video on here very soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.